turn to section 4.
You will hear lecturer talking about the role of public transport in reducing carbon emissions.
First, you have some time to look at question 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer question 31 to 40.
Public transport plays a crucial role in mitigating the effects of climate change by reducing carbon emissions. As cities around the world continue to grow, transportation systems are facing increasing pressure to meet the demands of urban populations while minimizing their environmental impact. Public transportation, which includes buses, trains, trams, and subways, offers an effective solution to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by providing a more sustainable alternative to private vehicles. One of the main environmental benefits of public transport is its ability to reduce the number of cars on the road. Private vehicles are one of the largest sources of carbon emissions, particularly in urban areas where traffic congestion is common. By encouraging people to use public transport, cities can significantly reduce the number of vehicles in use, thereby lowering overall emissions. For instance, a fully occupied bus can remove as many as 50 cars from the road, drastically cutting emissions per passenger. Public transport is also more energy efficient than private cars. Trains, buses, and trams can transport large numbers of people using less energy per passenger than individual cars. This efficiency is further amplified when electric or hybrid public transport options are used, as these vehicles produce far fewer emissions compared to traditional gasoline-powered cars. Many cities are already transitioning to electric buses and trains, reducing their reliance on fossil fuels and contributing to cleaner air and lower carbon footprints. Additionally, public transport encourages the development of compact, transit-oriented cities. When cities invest in efficient and accessible public transportation systems, they promote denser urban planning, which reduces the need for long commutes and lowers per capita emissions. This is in stark contrast to urban sprawl, where greater distances between homes, work, and services increase the reliance on private vehicles. Moreover, public transport provides an equitable solution to reducing emissions. It is accessible to a broad range of socioeconomic groups, ensuring that even those who cannot afford private cars have a reliable and eco-friendly mode of transportation. This inclusivity helps reduce the overall environmental impact of urban mobility. As fewer individuals need to depend on private vehicles, public transport is a key player in reducing carbon emissions, particularly in urban settings. By reducing the number of vehicles on the road, improving energy efficiency, and fostering sustainable urban development, public transport offers a practical solution to the global challenge of climate change. As cities continue to expand, investing in clean, efficient public transport systems will be critical in achieving climate goals and creating more sustainable communities.
That is the end of section 4. Now, you have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 4.
You will hear lecturer talking about green building and architecture, innovations for sustainability.
First, you have some time to look at question 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer question 31 to 40.
Green building and sustainable architecture represent a revolutionary approach to designing structures with minimal environmental impact. These practices are essential in reducing the carbon footprint of urban areas, conserving natural resources, and promoting energy efficiency. As the construction industry is a significant contributor to global greenhouse gas emissions, innovations in green building are transforming the way we think about the spaces we inhabit, offering solutions that integrate technology, nature, and resource-conscious planning. One of the key innovations in green architecture is the use of sustainable building materials. Traditional construction often relies on materials such as concrete and steel, which are highly energy-intensive to produce and contribute to environmental degradation. In contrast, green building advocates the use of renewable and eco-friendly materials like bamboo, reclaimed wood, and recycled steel. These materials not only reduce the environmental impact of construction but also offer durability and aesthetic appeal. Energy efficiency is another critical focus of green architecture. Modern green buildings are designed to minimize energy use through passive design techniques, such as optimizing natural light, ventilation, and insulation. Many of these buildings incorporate solar panels, green roofs, and energy-efficient windows to reduce reliance on non-renewable energy sources. By integrating renewable energy technologies and improving building insulation, green architecture significantly lowers the energy consumption of homes and commercial buildings. Water conservation is also an important aspect of sustainable architecture. Green buildings often employ rainwater harvesting systems, gray water recycling, and low-flow fixtures to reduce water waste. This approach ensures that water resources are managed more efficiently, especially in regions prone to drought or water shortages. Furthermore, green architecture promotes urban biodiversity and a connection to nature. By incorporating living walls, rooftop gardens, and landscaping that includes native plant species, architects create environments that support wildlife and improve air quality. These features also contribute to the well-being of building occupants by providing access to green spaces and reducing heat islands in urban areas. Green building and sustainable architecture are paving the way for a more sustainable future. Through the use of eco-friendly materials, energy efficiency technologies, water conservation measures, and integration of natural elements, these practices help reduce the environmental impact of construction and create healthier living environments. As cities continue to grow, green architecture will play a critical role in addressing climate change and promoting a more sustainable way of living.
That is the end of section 4. Now, you have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 4.
You will hear lecturer talking about the rise of eco-friendly packaging solutions.
First, you have some time to look at question 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer question 31 to 40.
As global awareness of environmental issues increases, businesses and consumers alike are shifting towards eco-friendly packaging solutions. Traditional packaging materials, such as plastic, are notorious for their negative impact on the environment, taking centuries to decompose and contributing to widespread pollution, particularly in oceans. Eco-friendly packaging, on the other hand, seeks to minimize these harmful effects by using sustainable, biodegradable, or recyclable materials. This shift is not only beneficial for the environment but also aligns with consumer demand for greener products, making it a key trend in modern industries. One of the most significant innovations in eco-friendly packaging is the development of biodegradable materials. These materials, derived from renewable sources such as cornstarch, sugarcane, and even seaweed, break down more easily than traditional plastics. Biodegradable packaging significantly reduces the amount of waste that ends up in landfills and oceans, making it an important tool in the fight against pollution. In addition, some companies are investing in edible packaging that dissolves after use, offering an even more sustainable option. Another important aspect of eco-friendly packaging is recyclability. While recycling rates vary by region, recyclable materials such as paper, cardboard, and certain plastics can greatly reduce waste if properly managed. Many businesses are now opting for fully recyclable packaging, including shipping boxes, wrapping materials, and even product containers. This not only reduces the need for raw material extraction but also conserves energy and reduces greenhouse gas emissions associated with production. Reusable packaging is also gaining popularity. Instead of single-use plastic bags or containers, companies are introducing durable, reusable alternatives that can be returned, refilled, or repurposed. This approach encourages a circular economy, where materials are continually reused rather than discarded after one use. For example, some beverage companies now offer glass bottles that can be returned for cleaning and reuse, significantly reducing the need for new packaging. The rise of eco-friendly packaging solutions is a critical development in addressing the environmental impact of packaging waste. By adopting biodegradable, recyclable, and reusable materials, businesses can reduce pollution, conserve resources, and meet consumer demand for sustainable products. As this trend continues to grow, eco-friendly packaging will play a key role in shaping a more sustainable future for industries and the planet.
That is the end of section 4. Now, you have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 4.
You will hear lecturer talking about human rights and international development, a crucial link.
First, you have some time to look at question 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer question 31 to 40.
Human rights and international development are intrinsically connected, as the fulfillment of fundamental human rights is both a means and an end to achieving sustainable global development. This relationship underscores the necessity for integrating human rights principles such as equality, freedom, and dignity into international development policies and programs. Without safeguarding basic rights like access to clean water, education, and healthcare, development efforts cannot achieve their full potential. Thus, addressing human rights issues plays a pivotal role in ensuring that economic progress leads to a more equitable and just world. One of the critical ways human rights influence international development is through the promotion of social and economic inclusion. Poverty, discrimination, and lack of access to resources are major barriers to development that can only be overcome by ensuring that all individuals, regardless of their background, have equal opportunities. For instance, education is a fundamental right recognized by international treaties, such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, and the Convention on the Rights of the Child, CRC. Education is not only a human right but also a driver of development, as it empowers individuals to improve their economic circumstances and contribute to their communities. In the context of health, the right to health is essential for fostering human development. Without access to affordable health care, millions of people around the world are trapped in a cycle of poverty and illness. International development efforts aimed at reducing maternal and child mortality, combating infectious diseases, and ensuring access to clean water and sanitation are inherently linked to human rights. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, approximately 2.1 billion people globally still lack access to safe drinking water, while 4.5 billion are without proper sanitation services. These figures reflect how deeply human rights and development are intertwined. Economic inequality is another area where human rights and development converge. The right to work, fair wages, and safe working conditions are crucial for reducing poverty and promoting equitable economic growth. Unfortunately, many developing countries face challenges related to labor rights violations, with millions of workers enduring exploitative conditions. According to the International Labour Organization, ILO, an estimated 152 million children between the ages of 5 and 17 are involved in child labor worldwide, depriving them of their right to education and development. Furthermore, international development projects that fail to consider human rights can have negative consequences for local communities. Large-scale infrastructure projects, for example, can lead to forced displacement or the destruction of indigenous lands if human rights are not adequately protected. In such cases, international organizations and development agencies must work to ensure that affected populations are consulted and compensated, protecting their rights to property, culture, and self-determination. Incorporating human rights into development strategies not only ensures more ethical practices but also improves the sustainability of development outcomes. Programs that are designed with a human rights approach tend to foster greater social cohesion, reduce conflict, and promote long-term stability. For example, gender equality, recognized as both a human right and a goal of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, is critical for reducing poverty and enhancing economic development. According to the UN, if women played an identical role to men in labor markets, the global GDP could increase by 26% by 2025. Human rights are fundamental to the success of international development. By promoting equality, inclusion, and access to essential services, the integration of human rights into development policies helps to build a more just and sustainable world. For development efforts to be truly effective, they must address the rights of all individuals, ensuring that no one is left behind.
That is the end of Section 4. Now, you have half a minute to check your answerers.